Welcome back to part 2 of Bike Tools. Glad you could join me. Cleaning. Let's have a look at cleaning our bikes and what tools are involved in doing so. Four big reasons we've got to keep our bikes clean. Number one is efficiency. The bicycle is a very simple mechanical machine and it's made up of individual parts which are manufactured to run efficiently. So keeping it clean, well lubricated adds to its efficiency and to our enjoyment of riding. Number two, parts last longer. Yep, when you keep them well lubed, well greased and clean, the parts will last longer and save you money in the long run. Number three, familiarity. We're familiar with our own bodies. The bicycle is an extension of our body, and so we should get familiar with the bike. And when you clean your bike, you'll get familiar on a more intimate level. For instance, you might be looking at your tyre and you'll notice there's a little cut or a nick in the tyre. Is that tyre, do you have to throw it out, or is it going to last a bit longer? Things like that. So you get to know your bike as a whole and individually as parts. Number four, it just plain looks better. There's nothing worse than riding with a bunch of guys and someone's bike is creaking and squeaking away and it's dirty, and if something happens to the bike, no one wants to touch it because you're going to get your hands all dirty. So keep your bike clean in that respect as well. And a clean bike goes faster, doesn't it? So we've seen all the tools on the tool rack in part 1, and here's the cleaning rack on part 2. And first up is rags. Yep, again, rags, not only in your tool section but in your cleaning section. So number 1 on your essentials list is rags again. Right, over to here. We're going to start off with this. It's degreaser. Now, degreaser in itself is great. You're going to have it. There's two forms. It's in a liquid where you can just add it to water or whatever, or you can get it in a spray can. Now, I've got both. The spray can one really is the essential one because you can get it in the hard nooks and crannies, and it's great to have. So, spray degreaser, number 1 on your essentials list. Okay, we go over here and we've got gloves, chemical gloves. Here's a dirty pair and another pair for cleaner. So anyhow, I'd get a pair of gloves, put them on your essentials list. Gloves for handling dirty things. Power point. So if you're working in a shed or a garage or wherever, power points, you need power points. Because to plug in whatever. And at the moment I've got mine plugged in because I'm charging the phone that's run out of power. Okay, over to brushes. Brushes are extremely important in cleaning your bike. Never clean your frame or your bike wiping. If it's dirty and you go wiping things off, it's going to scratch. So brushes, always spray your bike and brush it off with a soft brush. Okay, we'll just start off with this one first. This is a round brush you can get on eBay for a couple of dollars, and it's great for getting inside here, inside your hub, and wiping your spokes down on the inside and the outside as well. So a little roundy sort of a brush, I don't know what to call it, it's just a rounded sort of brush. Now, all these brushes here, these are all soft bristle brush, as soft as you can get, really, really soft bristles. And I divide it into two sections. They're for using with chemicals, and these are for finally cleaning with just water. So if you want this many brushes, wide, medium and small, that's fine. That's good if you can get the set. I use the wide one for cleaning the whole, like deep section rims like that, and for doing broad like frames, larger diameter frames, cleaning them. The medium one for pretty much everything, and the small one for getting into nooks and crannies like in your derailleur and your front derailleur cage and around your chain rings or bottom bracket area. You can get in with a smaller width brush, but they're all soft bristled. So soft bristled brushes, put on the essentials list. Same with these are for final cleaning, so when I'm just washing off with water I just need to wipe a little bit, and there, that's what they're for. Next one, this one here, this is a dustpan brush. Yep, from a dustpan set. Separate them, put this inside your house or whatever. The brush is really good for cleaning the cogs on your cassette. So you spray a bit of degreaser on your cogs, a bit on the brush, and it brings it up beautiful, gets right in and cleans it up lovely, and then you just wash it off with water. So a dustpan brush, really handy, really good. Put it on your essentials list. Right, next one. This is a stiff bristled brush. You can get it from the kitchen section as well in your supermarket. It's fairly thin, as you can see, but the bristles are really quite stiff. And it's perfect for cleaning your chain rings, whether there's just 1, 2 or 3 chain rings. It looks like it's coming to 1 chain ring these days, but it's perfect for cleaning your chain rings. So you spray chain rings with a bit of degreaser, hold it on to your chain ring and just turn your crank and it'll clean beautifully. So a stiff bristled thin brush on your essentials list. Okay, what are we looking at here? This is a set. You can buy these on eBay really cheap. First of all, this brush, it's really thin. It's not quite as stiff bristled as that one, but it's not far off, and it's great also for getting in between your cogs, and it'll clean right down individually down to your spaces between the cogs, down to your spaces on your cassette. So very thin brush. And this one here, the other part to it's got like a hook with teeth on it. That's great for if you're on a mountain bike and you know how you get long grass and it winds up on your cogs. It's great for just gouging that long grass out. You can do the same with a piece of wire or screwdriver, but this is even better. It'll just hook it out really quickly and it does a really good job. So yeah, I'd say add them to your essentials list. You can get them on eBay really cheap as well. And now what we've got up here, these are just bits of coat hanger. Get a coat hanger, cut it up and make some hooks like that. Great for when you're cleaning your chain and you want to hang it up to dry. Just hang it and then wherever to dry in an open area. Or when you've just taken out of the hot wax bath and you pick it up because it's hot and you wipe it down with the rag and then hang that up to cool down as well. So yep, get a coat hanger or some wire, cut them up, make some hooks and then put them up in storage. What else we got up here? A pair of protective glasses maybe when you're angle grinding, sharpening your teeth on your chain rings with angle grind. No. Right, moving along a little bit here and we go to toothbrushes. Oh, you've got to have toothbrushes. Save your old toothbrushes. Extremely handy for getting into tight spots. I use mine because I've got carbon rims for cleaning my brake pads a lot. Toothbrushes, put them on your essentials list. Definitely got to have a couple of old toothbrushes. Then there's pens and pencils, things. Now, here's an essential. Put this on your essentials list. A dental pick. Definitely a dental pick. And it's great for picking out bits of metal or grit from your brake pads. Has other purposes. Well, I can't think offhand, but that's a must. A dental pick. This is a spoke, just a nice stainless steel spoke. It's actually not 14 gauge, it's really thin, it's 16 gauge. I use that quite often when you're putting bearings and you're doing individual bearings in a hub or something and you want to move them. So that's, and the hook on the end, the J-bend or the head on the spoke, that's handy too. If you're threading say an inner cable through your frame and you can't get in there with your needle nose pliers, so you use the hook on the end, J-bend, and you hook the inner cable and then you can get your cable through on your cable routing on your frame. So nice thin spoke. Jewel screwdriver, pens and pencils. Here we go. Now this is a microfiber cloth. I'd say put that on your essentials list. Great for buffing up your frame when you finally finish it all and it's nice and dry and you want to put a nice shine on your bike. Give it a buff with a microfiber cloth. And this is just an old fruit juice container. Pin to the board and put things in. That's a bottle brush. Yes, I think I clean that for, don't know what it's doing out here. Cleaning for your water bottles. Clean inside your water bottles. That's on another video. That should really be in the kitchen. But I've probably got one in the kitchen so you can clean your hubs with it. So those brushes I never use. That I never use. Right, over to chemicals now. In chemicals, this is my stock of spray degreaser. Always make sure you've got plenty of spray degreaser. Xylene in making of paraffin wax. Methylated spirits, extremely handy for a final clean. paraffin oil, that's used in making the wax. Mineral turpentine, you don't necessarily need mineral turpentine. And now here we go, degreaser again. This time it's in a liquid form where you can just pour it in. So the liquid degreaser has many advantages. You can just add it straight into the ultrasonic cleaner if you've got one. You can use it in the homemade cleaning tub. You can put it in a cup and swish around. You can put it in a drip tray with your chain and then wash it out in water. So you can also of course use petrol and diesel and kerosene and other substances, chemicals, but they all leave an oily finish. Degreaser will remove that oily finish. And that's important because if you have an oily finish on, say, your chain, when you go and put your wax on or your oil, it inhibits the sticking of that lubricant onto the raw metal. So whereas the degreaser will take that oily finish off, so you have got that bare metal and the lubricant will stick really well. So degreaser. Going down to this shelf here is all to do with waxing. If you haven't started waxing your chain, think about it seriously. Go ahead, watch that video on waxing your chain and start doing that, because it's a great way of lubricating your chain. That's the liquid form, of course, for temporary application. Now, there's a little temperature gauge, handy in the shed in case it gets too hot or too cold, but you feel it anyhow. Now, down here, spray bottles, a must. Always put them on the essentials list. Get yourself quite a few spray bottles. This one's got just plain water for washing off. This one has a mixture of water and laundry liquid. I'm not sure the percentage. So that's that one for cleaning. And these are of course the pump action, great for doing your whole frame rather than hurting your hand all the time. You can use the pump action one. So get yourself definitely these ones at least. The spray bottles. There's a whole heap of them. I've got spray for each one. Again, that's laundry liquid, plain water. This one's got some car wax in it. Not only handy for doing your car, but doing for your frame. And of course here we've got silicone. Again, silicone in the cleaning section because it's great. You can put silicone spray not only on the staunches on your mountain bike, but on your derailleurs and on your pedals, on especially mountain bike SPD pedals. It's great. Once you've cleaned them, give them a good spray with silicone. Keep them nice and clean and functioning properly. I'd put that on your essentials list. That's in the tool section anyhow. Right, down here we've got a sink. Sink is really good to have with running water, so you can clean your brushes and fill your containers and all that sort of thing. If you're going to make your own sink in your garage or whatever, just keep it away from the electrical side of things. Just be careful there. Here's a nice tool if you can afford one, you want one, an ultrasonic cleaner. Not really necessary, but yeah, if you can afford one, then go for it. Now, one that you will need is good old chain cleaner container or jar. Put that on your essentials list. Watch the video if you haven't already done so and make yourself one. It's the best way to clean your chain. In fact, any bits you can put anything that fits in there, it'll clean extremely efficiently. All it is basically a container. It sits on a slide off the bottom on another piece of poly, just off the bottom there, and that's a kitchen sieve. You cut the handle off, and then you can put whatever you want in there. So your chain, and then you fill it up. Well, don't fill it up. Just put a little bit of petrol in there. Put the lid on tight. Shake, 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 and it cleans extremely efficiently. So that's that. Some containers are handy. Here's a little container there. This is a chamois container that I went through chamois cream, and now I've got that. That's really good. And even cups, even an old cup, it's really good to have around the place. And now down the bottom we've got petrol. That's for the lawnmower, but that's what I use for cleaning as well. Mostly for the lawnmower, but it's down there because it's easy access to get to when I need some. I know petrol's great. It's the best chemical for cleaning really, really quickly. But it's not the best on your hands, so be careful. Wear the gloves, of course. It's not the best on the environment, but that's okay because with the chain cleaner we use very little. In fact, you can use it 3 to 4 times over before you need to dispose of petrol anyhow. So, yep. And remember, we use more petrol in our automobiles and combustion engines and all that sort of thing than we'll ever go through in cleaning our bikes. And down here, drip trays. Drip trays, put on your essentials list. Great for when you're spraying your bike, put under your bottom bracket area. And these are meat trays, old meat trays, and it's some sort of a plastic that not much sticks to. Really good. So, yep, under your bottom bracket, spray, and it all drips into your frame, into the drip tray, and then you just throw it away. Right, so that's drip trays, and there's various other ones as well. You don't need that, you only really need one drip tray. A clip-on chain cleaner. If you can't or don't want to take your chain off of your bike to clean it, which is actually the best way, then a clip-on chain cleaner would be your next option. So of course, in using them, you just put your chemical in there, clip it on your chain, and turn, put the handle back on, and turn it, and it cleans your chain. Does a reasonably good job. So clip-on chain cleaner, put that on your essentials list if you don't want to take your chain off. Otherwise, if you can take your chain off, don't worry about it. This is more of a word of warning with compressed air. A lot of people say it's a quick way of getting rid of the water on your bike, of drying your bike. I would advise not to use compressed air because it can end up blowing water into bearings and seals and places that it really shouldn't be. So be really wary. I would advise not to use compressed air. Drying your chain. I'm mentioning this because it's one of the things you're going to most often do. Once you've cleaned your chain, you need to dry it before you put it in the wax. So what you can do in cold climates or winter time when it doesn't really dry out between the pins and rollers, use a hairdryer or a heat gun. Be careful with heat guns, they get really hot. And so you can dry your chain as best possible. Otherwise, put it in your house near a heating element or something. Make sure it's really, really dry before you begin to put it into your wax. Going back over here again, a little container here, it's my bin. Get yourself a bin, any container will do. A bin's an essential, put that on your essentials list. Drawers, again the bench, nice, about that height, waist height, so a nice bench. For cleaning you might want to use a harder surface. I've still got carpet, but you can use whatever you want. Not really that important. And drawers, 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 drawers. Always have drawers. In here there's all the bits and pieces. Come over, I'll show you. We have, now these are my chains. I'm running 2 chains per bike, so there's 3 bikes. So I've got 6 chains all up, so 3 spare and 3 on the bike already. Bits and pieces. Always have drawers. Drawers, drawers and drawers. And in this drawer we've got, there we go, this is the paraffin wax. So that's for heating up your paraffin wax. If you're into your waxing, hot waxing, which is good. That's a rice cooker, just a rice cooker. Put it on low, plug it in, and then you can re-wax your chain. So that's in the drawer as well. This is not an essential, but a thought. A dummy bike. Yep, it's an old 26er, steel frame. I've got a few bits still on it, but it's great. I can put my wheels on it. So I'll get my wheels. If I don't want to clean them on the bike because it'll get the bike messy again, put the wheels on the dummy bike here, and then I can spray them with the chemical and brush them and then spray them off again and then let them dry in the frame here. So a dummy bike, yeah, you can make one if you want to. You can also of course clean your chain in it as well. Put your chain on with the derailleur and wash it, clean it, degrease it and all that sort of thing, and let it dry on there as well. Well, that's it for the cleaning. When you think about it, so much of our life is spent cleaning, whether it's washing dishes, taking a shower or putting out the garbage. But if we can be more organised, we're going to save ourselves time, we're going to do a better cleaning job, and it won't be so much of a chore. Well, that's it, all done. So I'm putting this away now, all ready for our next ride. Cheers for now.